We just got our financial results for Q1 in from Nintendo, including Zelda's insane sales numbers. Switch hardware actually up year over year. Let's talk about it. All right, hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Nintendo does this financial earnings every 3 months for their investors where they go over sales data and information. And as someone who very closely follows this company and the gaming industry as a whole, I always take great interest in seeing how things are selling. So I saw a couple of things. We'll actually go over the very basic stuff first, including total sales for games and that kind of stuff. So let's open up the top selling units and titles. So as of June 30th, this is all of as of June 30th. So July is not accounted for here. We don't have Pikmin 4 sales yet. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe 55.46. That's actually a very big increase. We'll talk about that. New Horizons, Smash Ultimate, Breath of the Wild. You know, these things aren't really moving the needle. Although I think Breath of the Wild may have been under 30 million last time. Someone can correct me on that. Mario Odyssey 26, Sword and Shield, Scarlet and Violet not moving that many units anymore, which is interesting for Scarlet and Violet actually. I'll be curious to see what the DLC does for it and what this holiday season does for it, because it really hasn't gained that many sales in the past like 6 months. So that one's certainly interesting. And then yes, as you can see here, the big one. Unfortunately, Ring Fit Adventure has been dethroned from the top 10. Tears of the Kingdom coming out with its first month and a half of sales at 18.5 million. That is a staggering number. I was maybe a little bit more gung-ho on that. I thought maybe it'd be at 20 million by now, but it's very close, and it probably actually is, if you think about it, because we're in August now, August 3rd when I'm recording this, August 2nd, whatever. What day is it? Yeah, it's August 3rd. My birthday's in 2 days. So, Tears of the Kingdom being at 18.5 million, that is incredible. I was thinking maybe it'd be at 20 million by now, but considering this is as of June 30th, it probably is. Or at least very close to it. I'm sure sales are slowing down considerably, but as we move into the holiday season, that's going to keep going up. So Tears of the Kingdom coming out very strong, but let's take a look at the dedicated video game sales units here. The Switch is officially at 129.53 million units. That is substantial because, as we will get to, and huge shout out to Genki_JPN on Twitter. You love this guy. He started his own podcast, I believe. The Switch sold 3.91 million in the past quarter. So from April 1st to June 30th, right? It had sold 3.91 million. Now, that might not sound very significant, but I actually did the research. That is the biggest, I believe, Q1 for Nintendo's fiscal year starting in April, right? That is the biggest Q1 for the Switch ever. I didn't check every single year. I checked back to 2019 though, but that was bigger. That's bigger than 2020, which I was surprised by, and it's bigger than 2021 and 2022. Maybe 2017 would have been bigger because that was launch year. I don't really think so though. So that is absolutely massive. While hardware sales are up 13.9% this quarter, overall they are still down year over year. But it's what I've been saying too, because people, I don't want to really talk about Switch 2 too much here. People keep saying like, listen, Switch sales are down. That's why they need to release a new console. They are down, but only compared to the astronomical sales they were making during COVID. So to see hardware actually go up over last year is to see it go up this much, I should say, is very surprising. It makes sense with Tears of the Kingdom and the Mario movie, which we'll talk about, but I mean, last summer was really good. We had a lot of really good first-party software in the early spring, late winter. Forgotten Land was great. Mario Strikers Battle League probably didn't do much, but then I guess yeah, like Xenoblade isn't gonna move the needle, right? As much as I love that game, and in fact, that game actually didn't do as well as I would have hoped. I actually sold less than Xenoblade 2, I believe, but it's a very strong showing for a console that is in its 7th year to keep outperforming itself quarter compared, year overall with holiday sales and stuff involved. It'll probably still be down over last year. In fact, Nintendo's own forecast suggests that, but that's still really impressive for a console in its 7th year that has never seen a price drop. So for all the people coming to this video looking for some Switch 2 speculation, I think these sales these are higher than Nintendo's own forecast actually. I would imagine Nintendo's looking at this and being like, okay, well, even if we were planning on releasing the next console in late 2024, this gives us leeway. If it keeps selling like this, that gives us leeway to take our time, get more games ready, get the hardware really ironed out, and maybe push it to 25. But I don't really want to get into that today. So very, very strong hardware sales there. Software sales up 26.1%. That's also pretty dang great considering how strong software sales have been for Switch. But that is mostly in part due to Tears of the Kingdom. In fact, that made up a large chunk of their first-party sales in the past quarter. I believe it was something crazy like 50%. And then yeah, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe 1.71 or 1.67 million. is a huge jump for that game in its what 7th year of life, but also like its 9th because it was on Wii U. In fact, in their write-up here, Nintendo specifically references the fact that the Super Mario movie release actually helped sales a lot. My camera's cutting it off a little bit here, but basically saying that because of the movie, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe sold a lot more, and just Mario-related titles in general saw a big increase, which it makes sense, but to see it impacted that much, I mean, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe still selling like crazy regardless, but to see that many copies, I mean, that's like new game numbers, you know, for a lot of companies. Most Nintendo games will sell that much at launch now, but or lifetime, I should say, but that's still insane for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe to do, pretty much just because of the movie. So that's really crazy. And overall, the movie has actually given them just a lot of profit in general, with resulting in overall sales of 31.8 billion yen, an increase of 190% year on year. The end result is that overall sales reach 461 billion yen, with sales outside Japan being 369 billion yen, with an operating profit of 185 billion yen. That's just pure profit, which I believe is over 1 billion USD, which is, I mean, you look at like Activision making 3 billion a quarter on Call of Duty microtransactions. Maybe it looks like small beans in comparison, but for Nintendo, that's very good. We're still seeing increased digital sales, so 35.9% year on year, which is crazy. Looks like they're flaunting Kirby Dream Buffet as part of that, as well as Fire Emblem Engage, and so even just download copies of it, Tears of the Kingdom, and all that. And then here's what I really wanted to talk about. One last thing here before we end up is the announced product lineup for the future. So of course they mentioned Pikmin 4, then that's that 2-month gap that a lot of people have been talking about to Detective Pikachu on October 6th. That, gotta be honest, it is looking sus. I think we're gonna get a direct next month, and I do think something is possible there. Maybe it'll be like a smaller eShop title, but it would still be something to fill in that gap a little bit. There is Pikmin 1 and 2 HD. I understand that, getting a physical release, but that is a pretty big gap for Nintendo. I'll admit that. But then we see October and November just absolutely loaded. So October 6th, Detective Pikachu, Mario Wonder on October 20th. I made a mistake where I planned a flight. I leave October 19th. That is the day that Mario Wonder, Spider-Man 2, and rumored Naruto Storm connections come out. I done goofed on that one. But then November 3rd, WarioWare Move It, number 17th, Mario RPG, which I'm very, very excited for all of those games. And then we also have DLC promoted here. One final wave of Mario Kart 8 DLC, and the Pokemon DLC, which we should probably be getting a date soon, a date for soon here, based on some Pokemon Masters EX kind of data mining going on. But let's take a look. I want to see the future. Where's our future list for 2024? Is this it? That is not it. There it is. I saw some people memeing this on Twitter. So as you can see here, this is the entire lineup of first-party games Nintendo has announced. Pikmin 4, Detective Pikachu, Mario Wonder, WarioWare, Super Mario RPG. Then 2024, Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, temporary. And then this is so funny. Princess Peach will star as the main character in a brand new game, temporary title. That's what they said in the direct. That's what, not Koizumi. Was it Koizumi? I'm not sure. That's what one of them said in the direct, like, Princess Peach will be the star in her own game. And that's what they, like, it's just crazy that they would list that on their, like, financial document as what the game temporary title is called. Why not just call it Princess Peach? That would probably also work. And then Metroid Prime 4 temporary title, TBA. So no date for that. But and I just wanted to include that Princess Peach thing because it is very funny. And we should have a title for that. I'd imagine that next direct too. So that is gonna do it for this video. Let me know your thoughts on all of this financial information down in the comments below. I'm a geek for numbers like this. I love this kind of stuff, and it was actually a pretty strong quarter for Nintendo. So good to seeing that Mario movie effect, seeing Zelda just absolutely tear up, and seeing the Switch continue to do well in its 7th year. I'll be curious to see how Pikmin 4 does next quarter, and then also just moving into the holiday, how it actually does, especially without like a mainline Pokemon coming out, but then Mario Wonder as well. I mean, it could be a pretty strong holiday, once again, for a console in its 7th year. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. What do you think of all this stuff? And subscribe here for more Nintendo content like this pretty much each and every day. Until next time, folks, peace.